Chosen ones, an emergency update is unfolding right now, and God Himself is speaking directly to your soul. Something massive, something unstoppable is happening in your life at this very moment. You feel it, don't you? That stirring in your spirit, that unshakable sense that the ground beneath you is shifting. This is not a coincidence. The Creator of the universe has aligned this moment for you, and what's coming is beyond anything you've ever imagined. A divine breakthrough, a supernatural shift, a tidal wave of blessings is rushing toward you. Get ready, because your life is about to change forever. Right now, pause for just a second. Hit that like button to amplify this message's energy, and type 777 inches the comments below to declare you're ready for what God has in store. That number, 777, is a sacred signal to the heavens, a confirmation that you're standing firm in this divine moment. Do it now, chosen one, because this is your time. The air around you is charged with divine urgency. God is moving mountains you didn't even know existed. Obstacles that once seemed impossible, financial struggles, broken relationships, that weight of doubt pressing on your heart, are crumbling before His power. You're not just a bystander in this moment. You're the one He's called to step into a new season. Picture a dam breaking, releasing a flood of provision, clarity, and purpose. That's what's happening right now. The chains of yesterday are snapping, and God is clearing a path for you to walk boldly into your destiny. You might be wondering, why now? Why this urgency? Because God's timing is perfect, and He's chosen this moment to reveal His plan for you. The world may be chaotic, but you are not of this world. You're a chosen one, marked by divine favor. Your struggles were never meant to define you. They were meant to refine you. Every tear you've shed, every sleepless night, every moment you felt alone, God saw it all. And now He's saying, enough. He's rewriting your story, turning your pain into power, your lack into abundance. Let's make this real. Think about Joseph, sold into slavery, betrayed by his own brothers, thrown into a pit, and locked in a prison. The world saw him as forgotten, but God saw him as chosen. In a single moment, God lifted him from the dungeon to the palace, from prisoner to ruler. That same God is moving in your life right now. The shift you're feeling isn't random, it's divine. Your breakthrough isn't coming tomorrow, it's happening today. Type 777 inches the comments to claim it, to let the universe know you're ready to step into this new chapter. This is bigger than you can see. The emergency update isn't just about your life. It's about the ripple effect you're about to create. God isn't just blessing you for your sake. He's positioning you to be a light in the darkness, a beacon for others who are lost. Your success, your healing, your abundance will inspire those around you. People will look at you and wonder, how did they do it? They won't understand that it wasn't you, it was God working through you. Your life is about to become a living testimony of His power. Now, let's talk about what's shifting. Your finances. God's opening doors you didn't even knock on. Opportunities are coming, jobs, contracts, ideas that seem to appear out of nowhere. Your health, that weariness, that ache in your body or soul is being touched by divine healing right now. Your relationships, God is mending what's broken and bringing new connections that align with your purpose. This isn't a small adjustment, it's a complete overhaul. Everything that's held you back is being swept away. If this message is speaking to you, join thousands of chosen ones by subscribing to this channel. Be part of a community that's walking in faith, claiming God's promises together. And don't forget, type 777 inches, the comments to seal this moment to declare that you're ready for the blessings pouring in. Let's go deeper. This emergency update isn't just about what's happening, it's about who you're becoming. God is reshaping you into a vessel of His glory. You're not the same person you were yesterday. The old you, weighed down by fear or doubt, is fading. The new you is rising, filled with courage, clarity, and divine purpose. Imagine a caterpillar breaking free from its cocoon, unfolding into something radiant. That's you right now. God is unveiling the beauty He's placed within you, and the world is about to see it. History is full of moments like this. Think of Esther, a young woman who seemed ordinary, yet God positioned her to save a nation. In one divine moment, she stepped into her calling, and everything changed. You're standing in your Esther moment. The urgency you feel is God saying, "Now is your time." Don't shrink back. Don't doubt. Step forward with faith, because the gates of heaven are wide open, and your name is written on them. This shift isn't just personal, it's spiritual. The enemy thought he could hold you back. He threw distractions, delays, and discouragement your way, but he underestimated you. You're not just fighting for yourself. You're breaking generational curses, shattering cycles of lack, and paving a new path for those who come after you. Every step you take in faith sends shockwaves through the spiritual realm. The devil sees it, and he's trembling, because your victory is already sealed. Let's make this practical. What do you do in this moment? First, trust. Trust that God's plan is unfolding, even if you can't see every detail. Second, act. When opportunities come, and they will move with boldness, that job offer, that idea, that connection, it's not random, it's God. Third, praise. Give thanks right now, before the blessing even arrives. Gratitude unlocks the floodgates of heaven. And one more time, type 777 inches, the comments to anchor this truth in your spirit. The world might tell you to wait, to play it safe, to doubt, but you're not of this world. You're a chosen one, and God is moving swiftly in your life. Picture a storm clearing, the clouds parting, and sunlight pouring through. That's your life right now. The darkness is lifting, and God's light is flooding every corner of your existence. Your finances, your health, your purpose, they're all being touched by His hand. Think about Moses at the Red Sea. The enemy was behind him, the impossible was in front of him, but God made a way where there was no way. That same power is at work in you. The sea is parting, the path is clearing. You're not stuck. You're stepping into a miracle. This is your emergency update. God is moving, and nothing can stop Him. Your breakthrough is here. You might feel like you're not ready, like you're not worthy. Let me tell you something. God doesn't choose the qualified. He qualifies the chosen. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to be perfect. All you need is faith the size of a mustard seed, and God will move mountains. Your past mistakes, your doubts, your fears, they don't disqualify you. They've prepared you for this moment. This is a call to action. Not just to like this video or comment 777 though, do that now if you haven't yet, but to live differently. Walk with your head high, knowing you're chosen. Speak with confidence, knowing God's got your back. Act with courage, knowing the Creator of the universe is guiding your steps. This isn't just a moment, it's a movement. You're part of something bigger, something eternal. Let's talk about the bigger picture. This emergency update isn't just about your life changing, it's about the world changing through you. God's not just blessing you to make you comfortable, He's blessing you to make you a blessing. Your abundance will overflow, touching your family, your community, even strangers you'll never meet. Your story will inspire others to trust God, to step out in faith, to believe in miracles again. Think of David, a shepherd boy facing a giant. The world saw him as small, insignificant, but God saw him as a king. Right now, you might feel like David, overlooked, underestimated, but God sees you as chosen, anointed, unstoppable. That giant in your life, whether it's debt, sickness, or fear, is about to fall. The stone is already in your hand, and God's aim is perfect. This moment is urgent because God's plan is unfolding at lightning speed. You don't have to chase it. You just have to receive it. Open your heart, open your hands. Let go of the doubts, the what-ifs, the fear of failure. God's got this. He's got you. The emergency update is this: your season of waiting is over, and your season of receiving has begun. If you're feeling this, join the thousands of chosen ones standing in faith by subscribing to this channel. Be part of a movement of souls who know their purpose and are claiming their blessings. This is your community, your tribe, your family in faith. Together, we're stepping into the miraculous. Now, let's talk about the fire in your spirit. You've felt it, haven't you? That burning inside, that sense that you were made for more. That's not just a feeling, that's God's voice calling you to rise. You're not here to live a small life. You're here to walk in divine authority, to claim the promises written in the stars before you were born. That fire is your reminder that you're chosen, that you're set apart, that you're unstoppable. The world might try to dim that fire. People might tell you to settle, to stay in your lane, to stop dreaming so big. But listen to me. Those voices don't get to define you. God does. And He says you're a masterpiece, created for greatness, destined for glory. That fire in your soul, it's not going anywhere. It's only going to burn brighter as God pours out His blessings. Let's look at Daniel in the lion's den. The world threw him into a pit, expecting him to be devoured. But God shut the lions' mouths. Not only did Daniel survive, he came out stronger, with a testimony that shook a kingdom. That's you right now. The lions in your life, fear, lack, opposition, are powerless. God's shutting their mouths, and you're walking out of this season with a story that will leave people in awe. This emergency update is your wake-up call. God is moving, and He's moving fast. The doors you've been praying for are opening. The dreams you've held in your heart are coming to life. The healing you've cried out for is already flowing. Don't let this moment pass you by. Step into it with faith, with boldness, with expectation. You might be thinking, but what if I mess it up? What if I'm not ready? Let me remind you of Peter, who walked on water. He didn't have it all together. He doubted, he sank, but Jesus reached out and lifted him up. That same hand is reaching for you right now. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to take the step. God will catch you. He always does. This is bigger than you can imagine. The blessings coming your way aren't just for you. They're for your family, your children, your children's children. You're breaking cycles of struggle and planting seeds of abundance that will grow for generations. Your faith today is building a legacy tomorrow. That's the power of being a chosen one. Let's talk about the vision God's giving you. Maybe you're seeing glimpses of it: a business, a ministry, a family restored, a life of freedom. That vision isn't a fantasy. It's a promise. God doesn't show you something He's not prepared to give you. Hold on to it. Nurture it. Speak it out loud, even when no one else believes. That vision is your roadmap, and God's leading you every step of the way. Think about Noah, building an ark when no one saw rain. They laughed, they mocked, but Noah kept building. And when the flood came, he was ready. You're building your ark right now. The world might not see it, but God does. Keep going, keep trusting. The rain is coming, and it's bringing blessings you can't even contain. This emergency update is a call to stand firm. The enemy will try to distract you, to make you doubt, to pull you back into old patterns. But you're not going back. You're a chosen one, and your future is brighter than your past. The light in you is stronger than any darkness. The power in you is greater than any obstacle. God's got you, and He's not letting go. Let's talk about the peace that's coming. In the middle of this divine shift, God is giving you a peace that passes understanding. It's not the absence of problems, it's the presence of His Spirit, anchoring you through every storm. You'll walk through chaos, but it won't touch you. You'll face challenges, but they won't break you. That peace is your shield, your strength, your promise from God. Picture Mary, the mother of Jesus, chosen for a purpose no one could comprehend. The world didn't understand, but she said yes to God's call. Her faith carried her through uncertainty, and it changed history. Your yes to God right now is doing the same. You're not just changing your life, you're shifting the course of eternity. This moment is yours. The emergency update is clear. God is moving, and He's moving for you. The gates of heaven are open, and your blessings are pouring through. Step into them, claim them, live them. You're not just a spectator, you're a participant in a divine plan that's unfolding right now. Type 777 one last time in the comments to seal this truth, to declare that you're ready for everything God has prepared. Let's talk about the courage you're stepping into. This isn't about feeling fearless, it's about acting in spite of fear. God's not asking you to have all the answers. He's asking you to trust Him and move. Every step you take in faith is a step toward your breakthrough. That job you're hesitant to apply for, that conversation you're avoiding, that dream you've buried, God's saying, do it now. He's already gone ahead of you, preparing the way. Think of Joshua, standing at the edge of the promised land. The giants were real, the walls were high, but God said, be strong and courageous. Joshua didn't wait for the fear to leave. He moved, and God moved with him. That's you right now. The giants in your life are no match for the God who's with you. Take the step. The walls are coming down. This emergency update is your reminder that you're not alone. God's hand is on you. His angels are surrounding you. His Spirit is within you. You're not fighting for victory, you're fighting from victory. The battle's already won. The blessings are already yours. All you have to do is walk into them with faith. Let's talk about the overflow. God's not just giving you enough, He's giving you more than enough. Your cup is about to run over. That financial breakthrough? It's not just paying the bills, it's setting you free to live generously. That healing? It's not just for your body, it's for your soul, your mind, your spirit. That dream? It's not just a hope, it's a reality God's bringing to life. Think of the woman at the well, broken and rejected, yet Jesus met her where she was. In one conversation, her life was transformed. She didn't just find water, she found living water. That's what's happening to you right now. God's meeting you in your broken places, filling you with His living water, turning your emptiness into overflow. This is your moment, chosen one. The emergency update is this: God's moving, and He's moving fast. The blessings you've prayed for, the dreams you've held onto, the promises you've believed in, they're here. Don't doubt. Don't waver. Step into this moment with everything you've got, because God's got everything you need. Let's talk about the legacy you're building. Every act of faith you take today is planting seeds for tomorrow. Your children, your family, your community, they'll reap what you're sowing. You're not just living for yourself, you're living for generations. Your obedience to God's call is creating a ripple effect that will outlast you. Think of Abraham, called to leave everything familiar for a promise he couldn't yet see. His faith didn't just change his life, it birthed a nation. Your faith right now is birthing something just as big. You might not see the full picture, but God does. Trust Him. Keep walking. The promise is worth it. This emergency update is your divine wake-up call. The heavens are open, and God's pouring out blessings you can't contain. Your job is to receive them, to walk in them, to live them out with boldness and faith. You're not just a chosen one, you're a catalyst for change, a vessel for miracles, a light in the darkness. This is your time. Step into it. Chosen ones, this emergency update is pulsing through the spiritual realm, and God's power is moving in ways that defy explanation. You're not just witnessing a moment, you're standing in the epicenter of a divine earthquake. The ground is trembling with the weight of His promises, and every crack in your past is being filled with His glory. This is not a subtle shift, it's a cosmic realignment, and you're at the heart of it. God is rewriting the rules of your reality, and what's coming is a tidal wave of miracles that will leave the world in awe. Let's talk about the doors swinging open. These aren't ordinary doors, they're portals to divine opportunities, handcrafted by the Creator Himself. Picture a hallway lined with gates, each one glowing with the promise of something greater. Jobs you never thought you'd qualify for, connections with people who see your worth, ideas that spark wealth and purpose. They're all waiting. God's not asking you to pry these doors open, He's already unlocked them. Your job is to walk through with faith, knowing each step is guided by His hand. Think of Ruth, a woman who lost everything: her home, her husband, her security. Yet, in her faithfulness, God led her to a field where her destiny was waiting. She didn't force her way into Boaz's life. She simply showed up, trusting God's leading. That's you right now. You're being led to your field of favor, where provision and purpose collide. The world might see you as ordinary, but God sees you as chosen, and He's positioning you for a harvest beyond your wildest dreams. This urgency isn't just about what's happening, it's about who's watching. Your life is a stage, and heaven itself is leaning in. Angels are dispatched, aligning circumstances in your favor. The prayers you whispered in secret, they're being answered in the open. The dreams you thought were too big, they're taking shape before your eyes. God's not just working in your life, He's showcasing His power through you, proving to the world that His promises never fail. Let's shift to the strength rising within you. This isn't the kind of strength you build in a gym or through willpower. It's a divine endurance, forged in the fire of your trials. Every time you've faced rejection, every moment you've pushed through pain, God has been sculpting you into a warrior of faith. You're not fragile, you're unbreakable. The world might try to bend you, but God's made you like steel, tempered by His Spirit, ready to stand tall in this new season. Consider Elijah, standing alone against hundreds of false prophets. The odds were against him, but God's fire fell from heaven, proving His power. That same fire is burning in you now. The challenges you face, they're not here to defeat you, they're here to reveal God's glory. When people see you rise, unshaken, they'll know it's not your strength alone. It's the God in you, moving mountains, silencing doubters, and lighting up the darkness. This emergency update carries a rhythm, a divine pulse that's syncing your life with God's perfect timing. You're not behind schedule. You're not too late. Every delay, every detour has been part of His plan to prepare you for this moment. The clock of heaven is ticking, and it's counting down to your breakthrough. That job, that healing, that restoration you've been waiting for, it's not far off. It's here, unfolding in real time. Let's talk about the vision God's planting in your heart. It's not just a fleeting thought. It's a blueprint for your future. Maybe it's a business that changes lives, a book that inspires millions, or a family restored by love. Whatever it is, it's alive, growing stronger with every step you take. God's not teasing you with this vision. He's equipping you to bring it to life. Hold it close, speak it boldly, and watch Him make a way where none seems possible. Think of Nehemiah, staring at the ruins of Jerusalem's walls. The task seemed impossible, but God gave him a vision and the resources to rebuild. People mocked him, enemies threatened him, but he kept working. That's you right now, rebuilding what's been broken, brick by brick, with God's strength. The world might see ruins, but God sees a masterpiece, and He's using your hands to create it. This moment is about more than survival. It's about thriving. God's not just pulling you through, He's pushing you forward into a life of abundance. Picture a river, overflowing its banks, flooding everything in its path with life. That's God's provision for you. It's not a trickle, it's a torrent. Your finances, your health, your relationships, they're being swept up in this divine current, carried toward a future brighter than you can imagine. Let's talk about the authority you carry. As a chosen one, you're not begging for blessings, you're claiming what's already yours. God's given you a voice, a purpose, a mantle to wear. When you speak, heaven listens. When you pray, mountains move. This isn't about arrogance. It's about knowing who you are in Him. You're not waiting for permission, you're stepping into your calling with boldness, because God's already said yes. Think of Deborah, a prophetess and judge who led a nation with wisdom and courage. She didn't wait for approval. She stood in her God-given authority and spoke truth. That's you right now. The world needs your voice, your gifts, your light. Don't hold back. Speak, act, move. God's backing you up, and His authority in you is undeniable. This emergency update is a reminder that you're not alone in this journey. You're surrounded by a cloud of witnesses, saints, angels, and God Himself cheering you on. Every step you take is seen, every prayer you pray is heard, every tear you've shed is counted. You're not fighting a solo battle. You're part of a divine army, advancing God's kingdom with every act of faith. Let's talk about the restoration happening right now. What the enemy stole, your peace, your joy, your opportunities, God's giving back double. Picture a garden, once barren, now bursting with life. That's your life. The dry places are blooming, the broken places are healing, the lost places are being found. God's not just fixing what's broken, He's making it better than it ever was. Think of Job, who lost everything, family, wealth, health. Yet, in his faithfulness, God restored him with more than he had before. That's the promise over you right now. The losses you faced, in promise, they're not the end of your story, they're the setup for a comeback so powerful, it'll shake the foundations of your world. This is about stepping into your divine rhythm. Life has tried to throw you off, beat disappointments, setbacks, distractions, but God's resetting the tempo. You're finding your stride, moving in sync with His plan. Every step feels lighter, every decision clearer, because you're no longer chasing the world's pace. You're walking in God's timing, and it's perfect. Let's talk about the favor surrounding you. It's like a shield, deflecting negativity and drawing blessings. People will start treating you differently, not because you've changed, but because God's mark is on you. Strangers will open doors, opportunities will find you, and obstacles will melt away. This favor isn't earned, it's bestowed, because you're His chosen one. Think of Daniel, thrown into a den of lions, yet favored by God. The king himself fasted for his safety, and God shut the lions' mouths. That's the kind of favor over you now. The world might try to tear you down, but God's favor lifts you up, untouchable, unstoppable, unbreakable. This emergency update is about claiming your inheritance. You're not just scraping by, you're an heir to God's kingdom, and your inheritance is overflowing. Wealth, peace, purpose, they're yours by divine right. Stop thinking small. Stop settling. God's got riches waiting, and they're not just financial. They're spiritual, emotional, eternal. Let's talk about the clarity you're stepping into. The fog of confusion, doubt, and fear is lifting. You're seeing things as God sees them, opportunities where others see obstacles, possibilities where others see dead ends. This clarity is a gift, a lens through which you'll navigate this new season. Trust it. Lean into it. God's showing you the way, and it's crystal clear. Think of Paul, blinded by a vision, only to have his sight restored with divine purpose. That's you right now. The scales are falling from your eyes, and you're seeing your life through God's perspective. What once seemed impossible is now within reach, because He's lighting your path. This moment is about breaking free from old patterns. The habits, mindsets, and fears that held you back, they're losing their grip. God's rewiring your thoughts, redirecting your steps, reshaping your future. You're not bound by who you were. You're becoming who He created you to be. Every day, you're stepping closer to that truth, shedding the weight of the past. Let's talk about the joy bubbling up inside you. It's not dependent on circumstances, it's rooted in God's presence. Even in the storm, you'll find yourself smiling because you know who's holding you. This joy is your strength, your anchor, your testimony. It's what sets you apart as a chosen one, shining even when the world expects you to dim. Think of David, dancing before the Lord with all his might, unashamed, unstoppable. That's you right now. The world might not understand your joy, but it's not for them, it's for God. Let it overflow, let it radiate. It's a sign that His Spirit is alive in you, and it's contagious. This emergency update is a call to rise higher. You're not meant to stay in the valley, you're headed for the mountaintop. God's lifting you above the noise, above the chaos, into a place of peace and purpose. From this vantage point, you'll see His plan unfolding, and it's breathtaking. Keep climbing, keep trusting. The view is worth it. Chosen ones, this emergency update is a divine signal, a clarion call from heaven itself, announcing that God is orchestrating a monumental shift in your life right now. The atmosphere is electric with His presence, and every moment is pregnant with possibility. You're not just living, you're being propelled into a destiny so grand, it's rewriting the very fabric of your existence. God is pulling back the curtain, revealing a stage set for miracles, and you're the star of this divine production. Let's talk about the divine alignment happening in your life. Every decision, every encounter, every seemingly random moment is being woven together by God's hand. Nothing is wasted. That conversation you had yesterday, that idea that sparked in your mind, that door that opened unexpectedly, they're all part of His master plan. Picture a symphony, each note perfectly timed, building to a crescendo. That's your life right now, harmonizing with God's purpose, creating a melody of victory. Think of Hannah, who prayed fervently for a child while the world saw her as barren. Her tears were not in vain. God heard her, and Samuel was born, a prophet who changed a nation. Your prayers, your quiet moments of faith, are just as powerful. God's aligning your desires with His will, and what's coming is greater than you've dared to ask for. Trust the process. The notes are falling into place. This moment is about stepping into your divine identity. You're not just a person with a name or a past. You're a vessel of God's glory, marked for greatness. The world might try to label you by your mistakes or limitations, but God calls you chosen, anointed, unstoppable. Every time you choose faith over fear, you're stepping deeper into who He created you to be. This identity isn't something you earn, it's something you embrace. Let's talk about the supernatural protection surrounding you. The enemy's plans are falling apart, unraveling like a frayed thread. God's shield is around you, deflecting every attack, every lie, every scheme meant to derail you. You're walking through a battlefield, but you're untouchable. Angels are stationed at your side, and no weapon formed against you will prosper. This is your assurance. God's got you covered. Think of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego standing in a fiery furnace with no fear. The flames couldn't touch them because God was with them. That's you right now. The fires of life, stress, opposition, doubt can't consume you. You're walking through them with divine protection, and you'll come out without even the smell of smoke. God's presence is your shield, and it's unbreakable. This emergency update is about the divine exchange happening in your life. God is taking your ashes and giving you beauty, your mourning and giving you joy, your weakness and giving you strength. What you've lost is being replaced with something far greater. Picture a merchant trading a single coin for a treasure chest overflowing with gold. That's what God's doing for you, exchanging the ordinary for the extraordinary. Let's talk about the momentum building in your spirit. You're not stuck. You're moving forward with divine speed. Every step you take is gaining ground, pushing you closer to your purpose. The world might feel slow, but in the spiritual realm, you're running at full stride. God's accelerating your progress, turning years of waiting into moments of breakthrough. What used to take months is now happening in days. Think of Peter, who went from denying Jesus to preaching to thousands in a single day. The Holy Spirit ignited a momentum in him that changed everything. That same Spirit is igniting you now. Your words, your actions, your faith, they're carrying a weight that's shifting atmospheres. Keep moving. The momentum is yours, and it's unstoppable. This is about the divine connections God's bringing into your life. People are about to cross your path, mentors, partners, friends who will see your value and amplify your purpose. These aren't random meetings, they're divine appointments. Picture a puzzle, each piece locking into place to form a masterpiece. That's your life right now, with God placing the right people at the right time to complete His picture. Let's talk about the wisdom flooding your mind. You're not just thinking clearer, you're thinking like God. Solutions to problems that once stumped you are becoming obvious. Ideas that seemed out of reach are now within your grasp. This wisdom isn't from books or experience alone, it's a gift from the Holy Spirit, equipping you to navigate this new season with confidence and clarity. Think of Solomon, who asked for wisdom and received it in abundance. His decisions shaped a kingdom, and his insight drew people from afar. That's you right now. God's pouring out wisdom that will set you apart, making you a leader, a guide, a light. Trust the thoughts he's giving you. They're not random, they're divine. This emergency update is about the overflow of God's grace in your life. You're not just receiving what you need, you're being flooded with more than you can hold. This grace is covering your mistakes, strengthening your weaknesses, and opening doors you didn't even knock on. It's like a river breaking its banks, spilling into every area of your life, bringing life where there was once drought. Let's talk about the courage God's planting in your heart. This isn't about being fearless, it's about acting despite fear. Every time you say yes to God, you're building a reservoir of boldness that no one can take away. The world might try to intimidate you, but you're standing taller, speaking louder, moving faster. This courage is your birthright as a chosen one, and it's changing the way you walk through life. Think of Gideon, a man who saw himself as the least, yet God called him a mighty warrior. With a small army, he defeated a vast enemy because he trusted God's voice over his own doubts. That's you right now. The world might see you as small, but God sees you as mighty. Step into that courage and watch the giants in your life fall. This is about the divine restoration of your dreams, those hopes you buried, thinking they were too big or too late. God's breathing life into them. Picture a garden, once withered, now blooming with vibrant colors. That's your heart right now. The dreams you thought were dead are sprouting, growing, bearing fruit. God's not done with you. He's just getting started. Let's talk about the peace anchoring your soul. In the middle of this divine upheaval, God's giving you a calm that the world can't touch. It's not about everything being perfect, it's about knowing He's in control. This peace is like a deep well, steady and unshaken. No matter how wild the storm, you're rooted in it, and it's holding you steady as God moves. Think of Jesus, sleeping in the boat while the storm raged. His disciples panicked, but he was at rest, knowing his Father was in charge. That's you right now. The storms of life might roar, but you're resting in God's peace, confident that He's steering the ship. Let that peace guide you. It's your compass in this season. This emergency update is about the divine spotlight on you. God's shining His light, not just to guide you, but to show the world who you are. Your gifts, your talents, your heart, they're being unveiled for all to see. People who overlooked you before are starting to notice. Opportunities you never imagined are finding you. This isn't about pride, it's about God displaying His masterpiece, you. Let's talk about the freedom breaking loose in your life. Chains of fear, doubt, and shame are snapping. You're not bound by what people think or what your past says. God's setting you free to live boldly, to love fiercely, to dream wildly. Picture a bird, caged for years, finally soaring into the open sky. That's you right now, flying into the life God always meant for you. Think of Lazarus, wrapped in grave clothes, called back to life by Jesus' voice. The world thought he was done, but God said, "Not yet." That's you. The things that tried to bury you, pain, loss, failure, are losing their grip. God's calling you out, and you're stepping into freedom, alive with His purpose. This is about the divine acceleration in your journey. What used to take years is happening in moments. God's fast-tracking your growth, your healing, your success. The world might say, "Slow down," but God's saying, "Speed up." You're not waiting for permission. You're moving with divine urgency, catching up to the destiny He's prepared for you. Let's talk about the legacy you're forging. Every act of faith, every prayer, every step you take is planting seeds for generations. Your obedience today is building a foundation that will outlast you. Picture a tree, its roots deep, its branches wide, offering shade to those who come after. That's your life, growing, stretching, blessing the future. Think of Abraham, whose faith birthed a nation. His yes to God didn't just change his life, it changed history. Your yes right now is doing the same. You're not just living for today, you're shaping tomorrow. Keep walking, keep believing. Your legacy is eternal. This emergency update is about the divine fire in your bones. You feel it, that burning passion, that unquenchable drive to live out your purpose. It's not just emotion, it's God's Spirit, igniting you to shine brighter, love deeper, and stand stronger. This fire is your power, your calling, your proof that you're chosen. Let it burn, let it blaze. The world needs your light. Chosen ones, this emergency update is a divine broadcast, a heavenly signal cutting through the noise of the world to reach your spirit. God is moving with precision, aligning every detail of your life for a purpose so vast it shakes the foundations of your reality. You're not just walking through days, you're stepping into a divine blueprint where every moment is charged with His power. The Creator is painting a masterpiece, and you're the canvas, glowing with His glory. Let's talk about the divine clarity washing over you. Confusion is fading, replaced by a vision so sharp it cuts through doubt like a blade. You're seeing your path with new eyes, recognizing opportunities where others see dead ends. This clarity isn't just mental, it's spiritual, a gift from God that lets you see His hand in every situation. Picture a fog lifting, revealing a landscape bursting with promise. That's your life right now, illuminated by His truth. Think of Elisha, whose eyes were opened to see God's armies surrounding him. The world saw danger, but he saw victory. That's you in this moment. The challenges around you aren't threats, they're invitations to witness God's power. Trust this clarity. It's guiding you to decisions that will shape your future, turning possibilities into realities with every step you take. This is about the divine strength surging through your veins. You're not just surviving, you're thriving with a resilience that defies explanation. The weight of past struggles has forged you into something unbreakable, a warrior clothed in God's armor. Every time life tried to knock you down, God was building you up, preparing you for this season of victory. You're standing taller, not because of your effort, but because of His power within you. Let's talk about the divine harvest ripening in your life. The seeds of faith you've sown through prayers, tears, and trust are sprouting now. What you planted in secret is blooming in the open. Picture a field, once barren, now overflowing with fruit. That's your life. The dreams you thought were lost, the efforts you thought were wasted, they're coming to fruition, and the harvest is abundant. Think of Isaac, who sowed in a famine and reaped 100-fold. The world saw scarcity, but God saw abundance. That's you right now. The world might see lack, but God's multiplying your efforts, turning small acts of faith into massive breakthroughs. Keep sowing, keep trusting. Your harvest is here, and it's bigger than you imagined. This emergency update is about the divine rhythm pulsing through your days. You're moving in sync with God's heartbeat, each step aligned with His timing. The world's chaos can't disrupt this flow. You're dancing to a melody only you and God can hear, a song of purpose, provision, and peace. Every move you make is part of His choreography, leading you to places of promise. Let's talk about the divine favor resting on you like a crown. People are noticing something different about you, not because you're trying, but because God's mark is undeniable. Doors are opening without effort. Strangers are drawn to help you. Opportunities are finding you. This favor is like a magnet, pulling blessings toward you and repelling negativity. You're walking in a bubble of God's grace, untouchable by the world's schemes. Think of Joseph, who went from a pit to a palace because God's favor was on him. Even in slavery, he prospered. That's you right now. No matter where you are, God's favor is elevating you, setting you apart, making you a beacon of His goodness. Lean into it. Trust it. This favor is your inheritance as a chosen one. This is about the divine healing flowing into your life. Wounds you've carried, emotional, physical, spiritual, are being touched by God's hand. Picture a river of light, washing away pain, restoring what was broken. This healing isn't just for you, it's for those around you. Your restoration will inspire others, showing them what's possible when God moves. You're not just healed, you're a testimony of His power. Let's talk about the divine confidence growing in your spirit. You're not second-guessing yourself anymore. You're stepping forward with a boldness that comes from knowing God's got your back. This confidence isn't arrogance, it's faith in action. You're speaking with authority, acting with purpose, living with certainty. The world might try to shake you, but you're rooted in God's truth, unshakable. Think of Esther, who walked into a king's court with no guarantee of survival, yet her confidence in God's call changed a nation's fate. That's you right now. You're stepping into places you never thought you'd go, carrying a confidence that turns heads and shifts atmospheres. Don't shrink back. Your boldness is God's gift, and it's changing everything. This emergency update is about the divine purpose igniting within you. You're not here by accident, you're here to fulfill a mission only you can complete. God's placed a calling in your heart, a fire that burns brighter with every step. Picture a torch, blazing in the darkness, lighting the way for others. That's you. Your purpose isn't just personal, it's global, eternal, a legacy that will outlive you. Let's talk about the divine provision pouring into your life. God's not just meeting your needs, He's exceeding them. Bills you worried about? Paid. Dreams you thought were out of reach? Funded. This provision is like a fountain, overflowing with more than you need, spilling into every area of your life. You're not scraping by, you're living in abundance, a walking proof of God's generosity. Think of the widow who gave her last bit of oil and flour, only to find her jars overflowing. God didn't just sustain her, He multiplied her resources. That's you right now. Your small acts of faith are being multiplied, turning your little into much. Trust the process. God's provision is limitless, and it's flowing to you now. This is about the divine transformation reshaping your story. The chapters of struggle, pain, and doubt are closing, and a new story is being written, one of victory, joy, and purpose. Picture a book, its pages turning, revealing a plot twist you never saw coming. That's your life. God's rewriting your narrative, and the ending is more beautiful than you could have dreamed. Let's talk about the divine peace anchoring you through this shift. The world might be spinning, but you're steady, grounded in a calm that defies logic. This peace isn't fleeting, it's a foundation, holding you firm as God moves. You're not tossed by the waves, you're standing on the rock of His promises. This peace is your strength, your guide, your gift. Think of Daniel, sleeping peacefully in a den of lions. The world expected him to be devoured, but God's peace kept him steady. That's you right now. The chaos around you can't touch your spirit. You're resting in God's presence, and it's making you unstoppable. Let this peace guide your steps. It's a compass for this season. This emergency update is about the divine authority you're stepping into. You're not asking for permission, you're claiming your place. God's given you a voice that carries weight, a presence that shifts rooms, a purpose that changes lives. Picture a king stepping onto his throne, not with pride, but with the quiet confidence of divine appointment. That's you, ruling in the sphere God's given you. Let's talk about the divine connections forming around you. God's bringing people into your life who see your vision, share your heart, and amplify your calling. These aren't chance encounters, they're orchestrated by heaven. Picture a network of lights, each one connecting to form a constellation. That's your community, growing stronger, shining brighter, as God builds your tribe. Think of Moses, who needed Aaron and Hur to hold up his arms in battle. God didn't call him to fight alone, he surrounded him with support. That's you right now. God's placing the right people in your path, people who will lift you up, challenge you, and walk with you. Embrace them. They're part of His plan. This is about the divine breakthrough crashing through your barriers. Walls that seemed impenetrable, fear, lack, rejection, are crumbling. God's moving, faster than you can see, tearing down obstacles and clearing your path. Picture a bulldozer, leveling everything in its way. That's God's power in your life, making a way where there was none. Let's talk about the divine joy flooding your heart. This isn't happiness tied to circumstances, it's a deep, unshakable joy rooted in God's presence. You're laughing in the face of trials, singing in the middle of storms. This joy is your weapon, disarming doubt, silencing fear, and drawing others to the light within you. Let it shine. It's contagious. Think of Paul and Silas singing praises in a prison cell. Their joy shook the chains loose and opened the doors. That's you right now. Your joy is breaking chains, opening doors, and changing the atmosphere. Don't hold it back. Let it flow, and watch God use it to transform everything around you. This emergency update is about the divine vision expanding your horizons. You're not just seeing what's in front of you, you're seeing what God sees. Possibilities are unfolding, dreams are taking shape, and your future is coming into focus. Picture a telescope, revealing stars you never knew existed. That's your perspective now, widened by God's hand, showing you a future full of promise. Chosen ones, this emergency update is a divine flare, blazing across the heavens to illuminate your path. God is moving with a force that shakes the stars, and you're at the center of His cosmic plan. Every moment right now is charged with His purpose, pulling you into a destiny that's been written since the beginning of time. You're not just living, you're being launched into a realm of miracles, where the impossible becomes your reality. Let's talk about the divine courage rising in your bones. This isn't about feeling fearless, it's about moving forward even when fear whispers in your ear. God's planting a boldness in you that makes giants tremble. Picture a lion, unafraid, stepping into the arena with unwavering resolve. That's you right now. The challenges ahead aren't obstacles, they're invitations to show the world what God's power looks like through you. Think of David, facing Goliath with nothing but a sling and a stone. The world saw a boy, but God saw a king. That's you in this moment. The giants in your life, debt, doubt, despair, are no match for the God who's arming you. Step forward, swing your stone. God's aim is perfect, and your victory is certain. This is about the divine restoration flooding your soul. Every wound, every loss, every moment you felt broken, God's mending them with His own hands. Picture a shattered vase, pieced back together with gold, more beautiful than before. That's your heart right now. The cracks aren't signs of weakness. They're proof of God's artistry, turning your pain into a masterpiece of grace. Let's talk about the divine opportunities knocking at your door. These aren't random chances, they're hand-delivered by God Himself. Jobs, ideas, connections, they're showing up exactly when you need them. Picture a table set with a feast, every dish tailored to your purpose. That's what God's laying out for you. Don't hesitate. Pull up a chair. These opportunities are yours to claim. Think of Peter, who stepped out of the boat onto the water. The world called it impossible, but Jesus called it faith. That's you right now, stepping onto waves that should sink you, yet you're walking. Every opportunity you seize is a step on water, a testament to God's power holding you up. Keep moving. The shore is closer than you think. This emergency update is about the divine light radiating from you. You're not just reflecting God's glory, you're carrying it, a beacon in a world of shadows. People are noticing, drawn to your presence without knowing why. Picture a lighthouse, guiding ships through a storm. That's you, shining with a light that cuts through darkness, leading others to safety. Let's talk about the divine timing orchestrating your life. Every delay, every pause, every moment you thought was wasted, God was setting the stage. His clock is ticking, and this is your hour. Picture a conductor raising his baton, ready to unleash a symphony. That's God, aligning every note of your life for a crescendo of breakthroughs. Think of Moses, waiting 40 years in the desert before leading his people. The world saw delay, but God saw preparation. That's you right now. The waiting wasn't punishment, it was training. You're ready, and God's timing is unfolding with precision, placing you exactly where you need to be. This is about the divine freedom breaking chains in your life. Fear, shame, regret, they're falling away like rusty shackles. You're not bound by the past anymore. Picture a prisoner stepping out of a cell into sunlight, breathing free air for the first time. That's you, liberated by God's grace, running toward your purpose with nothing holding you back. Let's talk about the divine wisdom guiding your steps. You're not guessing your way through life. God's giving you insight that cuts through confusion. Solutions are appearing, decisions are clearer, and your path is lit with His truth. Picture a map unfolding to reveal every turn, every landmark. That's your mind right now, guided by a wisdom that's not your own but God's. Think of Solomon, whose wisdom drew kings from distant lands. His insight wasn't just for him, it blessed nations. That's you right now. The wisdom God's pouring into you isn't just for your benefit, it's for everyone you touch. Trust it, speak it. It's changing lives, starting with yours. This emergency update is about the divine overflow spilling from your life. God's not giving you just enough, He's flooding you with abundance. Your finances, your joy, your purpose, they're overflowing, touching everyone around you. Picture a cup filled to the brim, spilling over onto the ground. That's your life, pouring out blessings that can't be contained. Let's talk about the divine purpose, anchoring your soul. You're not wandering, you're on a mission, hand-picked by God. Every step you take is part of a plan bigger than you, yet it's yours to fulfill. Picture a compass, pointing true north no matter the storm. That's your heart, aligned with God's will, leading you to your destiny. Think of Jonah, who tried to run from his calling, only to find God's purpose waiting in the belly of a whale. That's you right now, not running but embracing the call. The world might try to pull you off course, but God's redirecting you, ensuring you reach the place He's prepared. This is about the divine strength fortifying your spirit. You're not just enduring, you're conquering. Every trial has built muscles you didn't know you had, making you a force in God's kingdom. Picture a fortress standing tall against every siege. That's you, unyielding, built on the rock of His promises, ready for any battle. Let's talk about the divine connections sparking in your life. God's weaving a network of people who see your vision, share your heart, and lift you higher. These aren't just friends, they're divine allies sent to strengthen your journey. Picture a tapestry, each thread adding color and strength. That's your community, growing richer with every connection God brings. Think of Elisha, who received Elijah's mantle and a double portion of his spirit. God placed the right mentor in his path at the right time. That's you right now, surrounded by people who amplify your calling, pushing you toward greatness. Embrace them. They're God's gift to you. This emergency update is about the divine healing, mending your broken places. Scars from past hurts, betrayal, loss, failure are being touched by God's hand, turning pain into power. Picture a wound closing under a gentle touch, leaving no trace of damage. That's your soul being restored to wholeness, ready to shine with His light. Let's talk about the divine joy igniting your heart. This isn't fleeting happiness, it's a fire that burns through every storm. You're finding laughter where there was once sorrow, peace where there was chaos. Picture a flame growing brighter in the wind. That's your spirit, radiating a joy that defies circumstances and draws others to God's love. Think of Miriam, leading Israel in song after crossing the Red Sea. Her joy wasn't just for her, it lifted a nation. That's you right now. Your joy is contagious, spreading hope to everyone you meet. Let it flow. It's a weapon, a gift, a sign of God's presence in you. This is about the divine authority you're stepping into. You're not asking for a seat at the table, you're building your own. God's given you a voice that carries weight, a presence that commands attention. Picture a crown placed on your head by the King of Kings. That's you, ruling in the sphere God's assigned, with power that comes from Him alone. Let's talk about the divine vision, expanding your perspective. You're not just seeing what's in front of you, you're seeing what God sees. Horizons are widening, dreams are growing, and possibilities are endless. Picture an eagle soaring above the clouds, seeing farther than anyone below. That's you, with a vision that stretches beyond the ordinary, guided by God's eye. Think of Ezekiel, who saw dry bones come to life because God gave him a vision. That's you right now. The dead places in your life, hopes, relationships, dreams, are stirring with new life. Trust the vision, speak it out. God's breathing on it, and it's coming alive. This emergency update is about the divine momentum carrying you forward. You're not crawling, you're sprinting with God's wind at your back. Every step is faster, stronger, surer. Picture a river rushing toward the sea, unstoppable. That's your life, moving with divine speed toward a destiny that's already yours. Let's talk about the divine peace shielding your mind. The world's noise can't touch you. God's calm is your fortress. You're thinking clearer, deciding wiser, living bolder. Picture a still lake, undisturbed by the storm around it. That's your mind, anchored in His presence, steady in every trial. Think of Jesus, standing before Pilate, unshaken by accusations. His peace silenced the chaos. That's you right now. The world might scream, but you're steady, rooted in a peace that only God can give. Let it guide you. It's your strength in this season. This is about the divine legacy you're crafting. Every choice you make, every prayer you pray, is building something eternal. You're not just living for today, you're shaping tomorrow for those who follow. Picture a bridge spanning generations, built by your faith. That's your life. Connecting the present to a future of God's promises. Chosen ones, this emergency update is a divine thunderbolt, striking through the veil of the ordinary to awaken your spirit. God is moving with a force that shakes the heavens, and you're standing in the heart of His plan. Every second is pulsing with His purpose, pulling you into a future where miracles aren't just possible, they're inevitable. You're not just walking through life. You're being catapulted into a destiny that radiates with His glory. Let's talk about the divine confidence anchoring your steps. You're not second-guessing anymore. God's truth is steadying your heart. You're moving with a certainty that comes from knowing He's already paved the way. Picture a captain steering a ship through a storm, eyes fixed on the horizon. That's you, navigating life's waves with unshakable assurance, guided by the One who calms the seas. Think of Joshua, leading Israel across the Jordan. The river was raging, but his confidence in God parted the waters. That's you right now. The obstacles in your path, fear, uncertainty, opposition, are splitting apart because your faith is stronger than the current. Keep walking. The dry ground is yours to claim. This is about the divine restoration, rewriting your past. Every moment of pain, every scar from betrayal or loss, is being transformed into a story of triumph. God's not just healing you, He's reshaping your history into a testimony of His power. Picture an artist, turning a blank canvas into a vibrant scene. That's your life, painted with strokes of grace, turning brokenness into beauty. Let's talk about the divine opportunities blooming around you. Doors you didn't even see are swinging open, revealing paths tailored to your purpose. These aren't random, they're God's invitations to step into greatness. Picture a garden bursting with flowers you never planted. That's your life, filled with possibilities sprouting from His hand, waiting for you to walk in. Think of Ruth, who stepped into a foreign land with nothing but faith. God turned her steps into a legacy that birthed kings. That's you right now. Every step you take, no matter how small, is leading to a harvest you can't yet see. Trust the journey. God's planting something eternal through you. This emergency update is about the divine fire kindling your passion. You feel it, that burning drive to live out your calling, to chase what God's placed in your heart. It's not just emotion, it's His Spirit, igniting you to shine brighter than ever. Picture a torch blazing through the night, unstoppable. That's you, carrying a light that no darkness can extinguish. Let's talk about the divine favor cloaking you like armor. People are drawn to you, opportunities are chasing you, and obstacles are dissolving, all because God's mark is on you. This favor isn't something you earn, it's a gift from the One who calls you chosen. Picture a shield, deflecting every attack, glowing with divine protection. That's you, untouchable in His grace. Think of Daniel, whose favor turned a king's heart in his favor. Even in exile, he rose to influence nations. That's you right now. God's favor is lifting you above the ordinary, placing you in rooms you never thought you'd enter. Embrace it. This favor is your key to doors only God can open. This is about the divine clarity, sharpening your focus. The haze of doubt is gone, replaced by a vision so clear it feels like you're seeing through God's eyes. You're spotting opportunities, discerning truth, and making choices with precision. Picture a lens, bringing every detail into focus. That's your mind, aligned with His wisdom, guiding you through this season. Let's talk about the divine strength, fortifying your core. You're not just standing, you're thriving, with a resilience that defies the world's logic. Every trial has built you, not broken you. Picture an oak, rooted deep, unmoved by the strongest winds. That's you, grounded in God's power, ready for whatever comes next. Think of Samson, whose strength came from God's Spirit, toppling pillars no man could move. That's you right now. The barriers in your life, debt, fear, rejection, are crumbling under the weight of God's strength in you. Don't doubt it. You're stronger than you know, because He's in you. This emergency update is about the divine connections weaving into your life. God's bringing people who see your worth, share your vision, and push you toward your calling. These aren't chance meetings, they're divine intersections designed to amplify your purpose. Picture a bridge linking you to others who strengthen your journey. That's your community, growing with every step you take. Let's talk about the divine peace flooding your spirit. The world's chaos can't touch you. God's calm is your anchor. You're steady, even when everything around you shakes. Picture a harbor, safe from the storm's rage. That's your soul, resting in His presence, unmoved by the noise of life. Think of Jesus, calm in the face of a raging sea. His peace silenced the storm. That's you right now. The storms of life might roar, but you're steady, held by a peace that surpasses understanding. Let it guide you. It's your compass, pointing you toward God's plan. This is about the divine purpose pulsing through your veins. You're not here to drift. You're here to fulfill a mission only you can carry. God's placed a calling in you that's bigger than your circumstances, brighter than your doubts. Picture a flame, steady and fierce, lighting up the darkness. That's your purpose, burning with divine intent, leading you to greatness. Let's talk about the divine provision overflowing in your life. God's not just meeting your needs, He's pouring out blessings you can't contain. Finances, health, relationships, they're all being touched by His hand. Picture a dam breaking, flooding a dry land with life. That's your life, saturated with His abundance, spilling over to bless others. Think of the widow whose oil never ran dry. Her faith unlocked God's endless supply. That's you right now. Your faith is opening floodgates, and God's provision is flowing without limit. Trust it. Receive it. It's yours, and it's more than enough. This emergency update is about the divine transformation reshaping your identity. You're not who you were. You're becoming who God always meant you to be. Old fears, old doubts, old limits, they're falling away. Picture a butterfly emerging from its cocoon, wings unfolding in glory. That's you, stepping into a new version of yourself, radiant with His purpose. Let's talk about the divine authority you're wielding. You're not begging for a place, you're claiming your God-given space. Your words carry weight. Your actions shift atmospheres. Your presence changes rooms. Picture a scepter held by a king chosen by God. That's you, ruling in the sphere He's assigned, with power that comes from Him. Think of Deborah, who led with authority no one could deny. Her voice shaped a nation's destiny. That's you right now. Your voice, your faith, your courage, they're shaping not just your life, but the lives of those around you. Speak boldly. God's authority in you is unstoppable. This is about the divine joy sparking in your heart. It's not tied to what's happening around you. It's rooted in who's within you. You're finding laughter in the middle of trials, peace in the face of chaos. Picture a spring, bubbling up no matter the season. That's your joy, flowing from God's Spirit, lifting you and those you touch. Let's talk about the divine momentum driving you forward. You're not inching along, you're surging with a force that can't be stopped. Every step is faster, bolder, stronger. Picture a wave, crashing toward the shore, unstoppable. That's your life, propelled by God's power, racing toward your destiny. Think of Paul, whose mission took him across nations, unstoppable despite chains or storms. That's you right now. No obstacle can slow you down, because God's momentum is carrying you. Keep moving. The path is clear, and the finish line is closer than you think. This emergency update is about the divine vision expanding your horizons. You're not limited by what you see, you're seeing what God sees. Dreams are growing, possibilities are multiplying, and your future is unfolding. Picture a sunrise, revealing a world you never knew existed. That's your perspective, lit by His light, showing you a path of promise. Let's talk about the divine healing washing over you. Wounds from the past, grief, rejection, failure, are being soothed by God's touch. You're not just mending, you're becoming whole, stronger than before. Picture a river, cleansing and restoring everything it touches. That's your soul, being renewed by His grace, ready to shine. Think of Naaman, whose leprosy was washed away in the Jordan. He stepped out, healed, a new man. That's you right now. The things that marked you pain, shame, loss, are being washed away, leaving you radiant with God's restoration. Step into it. You're whole, and it shows. This is about the divine legacy you're building. Every act of faith, every moment of trust, is laying bricks for a future that outlasts you. You're not just living for, now you're creating something eternal. Picture a monument, standing tall for generations. That's your life. A testament to God's faithfulness, inspiring those who come after, chosen ones. This emergency update is a divine beacon, piercing through the chaos to illuminate your calling. God is moving with a force that rearranges the stars, and you're standing in the center of His eternal design. Every breath you take is charged with His purpose, pulling you into a destiny that shines brighter than the sunday. You're not just existing, you're being transformed into a vessel of His glory, radiating with a power that shifts the world around you. Let's talk about the divine courage blazing in your spirit. This isn't about never feeling fear, it's about staring it down and moving anyway. God's planting a boldness in you that makes the impossible bow. Picture a warrior, sword in hand, facing a battlefield with unwavering resolve. That's you, stepping into challenges with a strength that comes straight from heaven, ready to conquer what lies ahead. Think of Rahab, who risked everything to hide God's spies. The world saw her as unworthy, but God saw her faith. That's you right now. The risks you're taking, the steps you're making, they're not reckless, they're righteous. Your courage is rewriting your story, turning fear into triumph with every move you make. This is about the divine restoration flooding your life. Every broken piece, dreams that shattered, hopes that faded, is being pieced back together by God's hands. Picture a mosaic, fragments forming a stunning image. That's your life, transformed from fragments of pain into a masterpiece of purpose, glowing with His love and grace. Let's talk about the divine opportunities unfolding before you. Doors you never knocked on are opening wide, revealing paths carved just for you. These aren't coincidences, they're God's invitations to greatness. Picture a road, stretching into the horizon, lined with signs pointing to your destiny. That's your life, filled with possibilities hand-picked by the Creator, waiting for your yes. Think of Andrew, who left his nets to follow Jesus. One moment of faith led him to a purpose that changed the world. That's you, right now. Every opportunity you embrace is a step toward a calling bigger than you imagined. Don't hesitate. God's calling you to leave the ordinary behind and walk into the extraordinary. This emergency update is about the divine light shining through you. You're not just carrying God's glow, you're radiating it. A beacon in a world lost in shadows. People are drawn to you, sensing something they can't explain. Picture a star, cutting through the night sky, guiding wanderers home. That's you, leading others to hope with the light God's placed in you. Let's talk about the divine timing orchestrating your journey. Every moment, every delay, every step has been perfectly planned by God. You're not late, you're right on time. Picture a clock, ticking in sync with heaven's rhythm. That's your life, moving with divine precision, aligning you with breakthroughs you're ready to receive. Think of Simeon, who waited years to see God's promise fulfilled. When the moment came, he held the Messiah in his arms. That's you right now. The promises you've waited for are arriving, not a second too late. Trust God's timing, it's perfect, and it's working for you. This is about the divine freedom breaking loose in your soul. Chains of doubt, shame, and fear are shattering, leaving you unbound. You're not tied to who you were, you're stepping into who God says you are. Picture a bird soaring from a cage into open skies. That's you, flying with a freedom that comes from His Spirit, unstoppable and alive. Let's talk about the divine wisdom flowing into your mind. You're not stumbling through decisions, God's giving you insight that lights up the dark. Problems that once overwhelmed you are now clear, solutions appearing like stars in the night. Picture a lantern casting light on every path. That's your mind, illuminated by His truth, guiding you with clarity. Think of Joseph, who interpreted dreams with divine wisdom, rising from a prison to a palace. That's you right now. The wisdom God's giving you is elevating you, solving problems and opening doors. Trust it. Speak it. It's not just for you, it's for the world around you. This emergency update is about the divine overflow pouring from your life. God's blessings aren't trickling, they're flooding, overwhelming every area of your existence. Finances, joy, purpose, they're spilling over, touching everyone you meet. Picture a fountain, gushing with water that never runs dry. That's your life, overflowing with His abundance, blessing others as it flows. Let's talk about the divine purpose burning in your heart. You're not here to blend in, you're here to stand out, to fulfill a mission only you can carry. God's placed a fire in you that won't go out. Picture a flame, steady in the strongest winds. That's your calling, unshaken by the world, leading you to a destiny of impact. Think of Jeremiah, called to speak God's word despite opposition. His purpose sustained him through every trial. That's you right now. The mission God's given you is your anchor, your drive, your reason to rise. Embrace it. It's bigger than you, and it's changing everything. This is about the divine strength surging through you. You're not just holding on, you're standing firm, a rock in the storm. Every challenge has built you, not broken you. Picture a mountain, unmoved by the fiercest gales. That's you, rooted in God's power, ready to face anything with unshakable resolve. Let's talk about the divine connections forming around you. God's bringing people who see your heart, share your vision, and lift you higher. These aren't random, they're divine appointments, strengthening your journey. Picture a chain, each link forged to hold strong. That's your community, growing with every person God sends your way. Think of Barnabas, who stood by Paul when no one else would. His support changed the course of history. That's you right now, surrounded by allies who amplify your purpose. Welcome them. They're God's gift, sent to walk with you into greatness. This emergency update is about the divine healing restoring your spirit. Wounds from betrayal, loss, or failure are being soothed by God's touch, leaving you stronger than before. Picture a tree, scarred but thriving, its branches reaching higher. That's your soul, healed by His grace, growing into something beautiful and whole. Let's talk about the divine joy bubbling within you. It's not tied to what's happening, it's rooted in who God is. You're smiling through trials, singing through storms. Picture a river, flowing with life no matter the season. That's your joy, springing from His Spirit, lifting you and those around you. Think of Habakkuk, who rejoiced in God despite barren fields. His joy was unshaken by circumstances. That's you right now. Your joy is a weapon, a light, a testimony that God's with you. Let it shine. It's drawing others to His love. This is about the divine authority you're stepping into. You're not waiting for permission, you're claiming your place as God's chosen. Your voice carries weight. Your actions shift the atmosphere. Picture a crown placed on you by the King himself. That's you, ruling in the sphere He's given you, with power that flows from Him. Let's talk about the divine vision, expanding your sight. You're not bound by what's in front of you, you're seeing God's possibilities. Dreams are taking shape, horizons are widening. Picture a telescope, revealing worlds beyond your reach. That's your perspective, opened by His Spirit, showing you a future of promise. Think of Isaiah, who saw God's glory and spoke His truth. His vision changed a nation. That's you right now. The vision God's giving you is reshaping your life and touching lives around you. Hold it tight. Speak it bold. It's alive, and it's yours. This emergency update is about the divine momentum pushing you forward. You're not stuck, you're surging, carried by God's unstoppable force. Every step is stronger, faster, bolder. Picture a wind propelling a ship across the sea. That's your life, moving with divine speed toward a destiny that's waiting. Let's talk about the divine peace grounding your heart. The world's chaos can't shake you. God's calm is your foundation. You're steady, even when everything spins. Picture a rock, unmoved by crashing waves. That's your spirit, anchored in His presence, guiding you through every storm. Think of Mary, who carried Jesus in a world of uncertainty. Her peace came from God's promise. That's you right now. The storms might rage, but your peace is unshaken, a sign of His hand on you. Rest in it. It's your strength for this season. This is about the divine legacy you're forging. Every prayer, every act of faith is building something eternal. You're not just living, you're creating a foundation for generations. Picture a tree, its roots deep, its shade lasting. That's your life, growing with God's purpose, blessing those who come after, chosen ones. This emergency update is a divine pulse, resonating through the heavens and igniting your soul. God is moving with a power that shatters the ordinary, and you're standing in the epicenter of His plan. Every moment is alive with His purpose, propelling you into a future where miracles are your reality. You're not just walking through time, you're being ushered into a destiny that shines with His eternal light. Let's talk about the divine boldness surging in your spirit. You're not hesitating anymore. God's courage is fueling your steps. You're facing challenges with a fire that burns through doubt. Picture a flame, cutting through the darkness, unwavering and fierce. That's you, moving with a confidence that comes from knowing the Creator is behind you, ready to conquer what stands in your way. Think of Nehemiah, rebuilding Jerusalem's walls despite threats and mockery. His boldness wasn't his own, it was God's. That's you right now. The opposition you face, critics, fears, obstacles can't stop you. Your boldness is rewriting the story, turning ruins into a fortress of faith. Keep building. God's strength is in you. This is about the divine restoration breathing life into your dreams. Hopes you thought were lost, visions you buried, they're stirring again, revived by God's touch. Picture a desert, blooming with flowers after rain. That's your heart, once dry, now bursting with possibility, growing with His promises. Your dreams aren't dead, they're alive, and they're coming to pass. Let's talk about the divine opportunities springing up around you. Paths you never saw are opening, each one leading to your purpose. These aren't random, they're God's gifts, tailored for you. Picture a map, with routes lighting up as you walk. That's your life, revealing new directions with every step, inviting at you to claim what He's prepared. Think of Philip, sent to a desert road to meet one man. That single encounter spread God's word to a nation. That's you right now. Every opportunity, no matter how small it seems, is a divine setup. Step into it. God's using your yes to spark something eternal. This emergency update is about the divine radiance glowing from within you. You're not just shining, you're blazing, a light that pierces the darkest corners. People are drawn to you, sensing a warmth they can't explain. Picture a sunrise, chasing away the night with unstoppable brilliance. That's you, illuminating lives with God's love, guiding others to His truth. Let's talk about the divine alignment shaping your path. Every choice, every moment, is falling into place like pieces of a puzzle. God's orchestrating details you can't yet see. Picture a tapestry, threads weaving together to form a masterpiece. That's your life, coming together with divine precision, creating a picture of His glory. Think of Esther, whose every step was guided to save a nation. Her life looked ordinary until God's timing revealed its purpose. That's you right now. The moments you're living aren't random, they're part of a plan bigger than you can imagine. Trust the alignment. God's weaving something beautiful. This is about the divine freedom lifting your spirit. Chains of fear, guilt, and regret are breaking, setting you free to run toward your calling. You're not bound by what held you back. Picture a kite soaring high above the earth, untethered. That's you, rising with God's grace, moving with a freedom that changes everything. Let's talk about the divine insight sharpening your mind. You're not confused anymore. God's giving you a clarity that cuts through the noise. Ideas are sparking, solutions are forming, and your decisions are steady. Picture a beacon, guiding ships through fog. That's your mind, lit by His wisdom, showing you the way forward. Think of Daniel, who saw visions others couldn't grasp. His insight came from God, and it shaped kingdoms. That's you right now. The wisdom God's pouring into you is setting you apart, guiding you to choices that will change your life and others. Trust it. It's divine. This emergency update is about the divine abundance flooding your world. God's not giving you scraps. He's pouring out blessings that overflow your hands. Finances, peace, purpose, they're spilling over, touching everyone around you. Picture a river bursting its banks, bringing life to all it reaches. That's your life, rich with His provision, blessing the world. Let's talk about the divine purpose driving your heart. You're not here to wander. You're here to fulfill a mission only you can carry. God's planted a calling in you that burns brighter every day. Picture a compass, pointing true north in any storm. That's your soul, aligned with His will, guiding you to greatness. Think of Jonah, who ran from his purpose but couldn't escape God's call. His obedience changed a city. That's you right now. You're not running, you're embracing the mission God's given you. It's bigger than you, and it's transforming lives, starting with yours. This is about the divine strength anchoring your core. You're not wavering, you're standing like a rock in a raging sea. Every trial has forged you, making you unbreakable. Picture a fortress, unshaken by the fiercest siege. That's you, built on God's foundation, ready for any battle. Let's talk about the divine connections knitting your life together. God's bringing people who see your heart, share your dreams, and lift you higher. These aren't chance meetings, they're divine links, strengthening your journey. Picture a chain, each link forged for strength. That's your community, growing with every person God sends. Think of Ruth and Naomi, bound by faith, not blood. Their connection led to a legacy of kings. That's you right now, surrounded by allies who amplify your purpose. Embrace them. They're God's gift, sent to walk with you into your destiny. This emergency update is about the divine healing washing over you. Scars from past hurts, rejection, loss, pain are fading under God's touch. You're not just mending, you're becoming whole, stronger than ever. Picture a wound closing with new skin, flawless. That's your soul, restored by His grace, ready to shine. Let's talk about the divine joy sparking in your spirit. It's not tied to what's around you, it's rooted in God's presence. You're laughing in the face of trials, dancing in the storm. Picture a flame growing brighter in the wind. That's your joy, fueled by His Spirit, lifting you and those you touch. Think of David, dancing before the Lord with all his might. His joy defied the world's judgment. That's you right now. Your joy is a weapon, a light, a sign of God's life in you. Let it flow. It's changing the atmosphere around you. This is about the divine authority you're claiming. You're not asking for a place, you're stepping into the one God's prepared. Your voice carries power. Your actions shift realities. Picture a scepter, held by a king chosen by God. That's you, ruling in the sphere He's given, with strength that comes from Him. Let's talk about the divine vision, opening your eyes. You're not limited by what's in front of you. You're seeing God's possibilities. Dreams are growing, horizons are expanding. Picture an eagle, soaring above the clouds, seeing farther than anyone below. That's your perspective, lifted by His Spirit, revealing a future of promise. Think of Ezekiel, who saw dry bones rise to life. His vision brought God's power to earth. That's you right now. The vision God's giving you is breathing life into dead places. Hopes, relationships, dreams. Hold it close. It's alive, and it's yours. This emergency update is about the divine momentum carrying you forward. You're not crawling, you're charging, propelled by God's unstoppable force. Every step is bolder, faster, stronger. Picture a wind pushing a sailboat across the sea. That's your life, moving with divine speed toward your destiny. Let's talk about the divine peace steadying your heart. The world's noise can't touch you. God's calm is your shield. You're grounded, even when chaos swirls. Picture a lake, still despite the storm. That's your spirit, anchored in His presence, guiding you through every wave. Think of Jesus, sleeping in the boat as the storm raged. His peace defied the chaos. That's you right now. The world might roar, but you're steady, held by a peace that only God gives. Rest in it. It's your strength for this season. This is about the divine legacy you're building. Every prayer, every act of faith is laying stones for a future that endures. You're not just living, you're creating something eternal. Picture a bridge spanning across time, built by your trust. That's your life, connecting today to a tomorrow of God's promises.